Okay, I guess we're live now. Good morning, everybody. This is Srikanth Nadhamuni. I'm speaking to you from Palo Alto, California. Well, actually, Menlo Park, California. A beautiful day. It's wonderful to be here in California. I live in Bangalore. I run the eGovernments Foundation. I'm the managing trustee. I'd love to. I'm delighted to have everybody here. We're going to share a little bit about the eGovernments Foundation and perhaps get you to work with us and start coding and helping us out with improving governance in Indian cities. With that, a few inputs and rules. You can download the deck that I'm going to go over through the PDF link that's there below. So click on it and download it so you're able to have your own local copy that you can follow with. Secondly, if you have questions, you can type on the chat window on the right side. What I think I'll do is I'll spend about 30 minutes in going through this deck, and then we could do like a Q&A. Okay, with that, let's get started. Let me just load up my presentation. So the agenda today is we're going to quickly go over the eGovernments Foundation. We're going to go over the product suite that we have created. We're going to talk a little bit about the impact that the eGovernments Foundation has had in cities in India. We run over 400 cities. Our software is being run in more than 400 cities. So we'll talk a little bit about that. And then we'll go over to how you can help us improve the quality of software, improve the way in which governance can be made more productive and services can be delivered better to citizens. And finally, let's go over a Q&A session if you have questions. Hopefully the technology sort of works through all this. Okay, to get started on the eGovernments Foundation, this is an NGO, a non-governmental organization that was set up in Bangalore in 2003 by Nandan Nilekani and myself. So the idea was that we wanted to create a suite of products to improve governance in Indian cities. And over the years, over the 13 odd years, we have created about 25 products, an ERP, if you will, for running municipalities. It's a comprehensive product. The integration, there's a slide on a little bit of the integration between the modules so that the various departments sort of work in conjunction and deliver services in a holistic manner to the citizens. And we have now implemented, like I said, our modules in over 400 cities across India. So that's a little bit about the foundation. The mission basically was to improve and the delivery of services to citizens in municipalities in India. If you've gone to India, which very likely that you have, you see a lot of problems on the ground, a lot of infrastructure issues, traffic issues, garbage, pollution, water, and so on. And a lot of this is related to municipalities and how they're run, right? So the idea was we would build an integrated set of modules that would help in the planning and management of the various services that the city delivers, the municipality delivers, right? And we have a goal to implement these modules for better governance in 2,000 cities by the year 2020. And I hope you will join us in our journey to get to 2,000 cities by 2020. Now, a little bit about the Smart City product suite. This is the product suite that we've built, which is the Municipal ERP, if you will, to run cities. And basically, this slide is showing you a graphic of the kinds of modules that we have. It's broken up into 4 different buckets, if you will. On top left, you see the revenue modules. Property tax happens to be the single largest source of revenue for Indian cities, very much like cities in the United States as well. Although this is the largest income to the city, Indian cities only garner about 0.65% of GDP in property taxes, although they contribute almost 70% to the country's GDP. So the tax collections are woefully inadequate, and hence you see poor infrastructure and delivery of services. There's other revenues like water charges, advertisement tax, trade licenses, and so on, but property tax is the most important and the largest chunk of revenue for the urban local body or the municipality. Next, on the right, you see the expenditure modules. For instance, the works management, that is building of roads and footpaths and parks and so on, that is taken up by the engineering department. This module is meant for them. This involves choosing a contractor and tracking the work of the contractor through what was earlier called a handbook, but now we would like to do that using mobile phones and tablets and so on, with better monitoring and control. Payroll and pension, this can be another significant expenditure. In fact, between works projects that the city takes up and payroll and pension, they account for over 90% of the expenditure of cities. The Municipal Corporation of Delhi, for instance, has 150,000 employees, and payroll happens to be about 60% of the city's expenditure. There are other items such as inventory and the assets that are created because of the works projects that are taken up, and the land and properties that the city owns. All of these are sort of bucketed under the expenditure heads. And below, on the right, you see citizen services. For instance, when you have a complaint, when you have a problem, a pothole, what have you, you can basically register the complaint with the city through the public grievance and redressal module that we have built. One of the most popular modules that we have deployed, whether it's the administrator or the citizen, both of them like this. We see a lot of activity, very interesting data. I can share some data with you on grievances. Building plan approval. When you want to build your own house, you basically have to submit a plan, and we have systems that check against setback violations and so on automatically using AutoCAD formats. And that's actually a very useful module for citizens to be able to submit their plans and get it approved. And there are other obligatory functions of the municipality, such as the registration of births and deaths, as well as certifying people with birth certificates and so on. Those are citizen services. And also we have a citizens portal, which can be used to go and look at information about the city, whether it's the accounting aspects of it, the budget, how many complaints have been filed, and so on and so forth. In fact, we'll tell you a little bit about it. We'll show you maybe some dashboards, or you can sort of log in on our system and take a look at it. And finally, we have administration modules, employee management, file management, legal case management, and so on. So that's pretty much the entire suite. And right in the middle, we have a municipal accounting product, and that pretty much ties all the monies coming in and leaving the city. Lately, we have created two new sort of horizontal components. One is the city and state dashboard. So you can have a video dashboard through which you can view every aspect of the city. So if you're an administrator, you'll be able to get a very good overall view of what's happening in real time. That's been found to be very useful. Analytics through very nice visualizations on a video wall, a large video wall, is something that we have created. And in fact, very successfully deployed in the state of Andhra Pradesh, a statewide dashboard, as well as mobile apps that have been built so that administrators can actually be on the field helping citizens and doing transactions at the point of transaction using a mobile app, using an Android app with a smartphone or a tablet. We have open sourced this entire stack a couple of years ago. And in fact, we invite you to come and help us build a better set of modules and improve the modules that we've built. And that's the purpose of today's webcast. This next slide, which is, which talks about the integration between these various modules is very important, because in several cities, they take a siloed approach for these different modules, and the engineering department doesn't talk to the revenue department, and at the end of the day, the citizens suffer because of this confusion and mismatch of data. And moving forward, one of the key things I already mentioned to you, that we have open sourced our entire stack, and there's a lot of excitement around cities and states who want to use the eGovernments Foundation SmartCity suite of products to improve municipal service delivery. The other thing that we are still working on, not entirely completed, is creating open APIs so that people can build, third parties can build on top of our servers. There's another very important aspect. The foundation also has experts who understand the domain of municipalities, and they come in and help government process reengineering, as well as come up with rules and workflows which actually make the job of the municipality a lot easier. And finally, mobility, analytics, and cloud capabilities in the platform are really beginning to bear fruit, the speed at which we are able to deploy in various states. Here is a picture of the Smart City dashboard. And basically, the idea of this dashboard was that you can see the various aspects of the city in real time on GIS maps. So for instance, the dashboard behind me, 8-screen video wall, is showing the city of Chennai, which is one of our client cities. In the middle, you're able to see maps which are showing property tax collection, the DCB, the demand, collection, and balance of the various wards of the city. And color gradations show you what the collection of property tax has been across the city. This is a very effective way to communicate to the administrators, be it the commissioner of the city or the revenue officials who are collecting tax, as to where the collections have been adequate and where they are lagging behind, and so on. Similar kind of maps are being used, for instance, to look at the complaints that people have. That's to the right of the property tax maps. You see other ward maps, which are also showing you color gradations of the kinds of complaints that have been registered across the city of Chennai. I'll give you a very interesting it's an anecdotal story. We launched this public grievance and redressal module in over 50 cities in Karnataka, 57 cities to be precise. And interestingly enough, every one of those cities had the same #1 complaint, right? So the most important complaint in every one of those 57 cities was the same one. Do you want to take a guess to figure out what complaint it was? What the problem was really in Karnataka? If your answer is pollution, you're wrong. If your answer is traffic, still wrong. If you're thinking in terms of garbage maybe on the streets, that wasn't the #1 problem. It wasn't waterlogging. It was none of those. And if you didn't get the answer, right? If you still don't get the answer, don't be worried, because even the commissioners of those 50 cities could not guess what the #1 problem in Karnataka was. The #1 problem in all those 57 cities was street lighting. And our public grievance and redressal module very clearly showed us that day after day after day, people were telling the administrators to fix the street lights. The reason why I bring up this example is that we all have a sense that we know what the problem of the city is. We have our own pet peeve, but many times we are wrong. Often we are wrong, as in this case. So my own request to the administrators is that let data govern your decision making, right? Data can't lie. Day after day after day, hundreds and thousands of complaints coming in through every city can't be wrong, right? So we came up with this idea of data-driven governance, and that's pretty much what we have done using these dashboards, right? Analytics and visualization of the various aspects of the city for all those 24 modules that tells you what's going on, and you're able to make better decisions. And hopefully that will improve service delivery. Okay, so moving on, we decided a couple of years ago that we would build Android apps in order to deliver the front end of the for our products. And as you might know, Android is about 97% of has about 97% penetration in India, and they're also quite inexpensive. So we have written Android apps for a few of our modules. We would like to build more apps as front ends for all our modules, and in fact, we could have you help us do that. This is one area where we can have open source volunteers from around the world, whether it's the Bay Area here in San Francisco that I'm speaking from today, or it's London or Australia, and in India as well. People can contribute to us, build Android apps that can help us improve our product suite. Right. So let's talk a little bit about the impact that the eGovernment Foundation has had over the last dozen years or so. We have implemented our modules in over 400 cities in India. In fact, going back to that slide, we have a large number of cities in Karnataka and in Andhra Pradesh that we have implemented at. Our modules are used at the New Delhi Municipal Council. They are running in Kanpur, in Nagpur, in Chennai, and many other cities, right? So, in fact, about a year and a half ago, we started implementing in the state of Andhra Pradesh. The Chief Minister has personally taken a lot of interest in our modules. I'll talk a little bit about that. In the phase 1 of our implementation, within the first 6 months, we were able to implement the property tax system, water charges, public grievance and redressal, which I talked about, as well as a ULB portal, so that citizens could log in and apply for the various services, as well as register complaints and so on. We also deployed a statewide dashboard, and in fact, this is something that's been sort of appreciated a lot. The Chief Minister uses this dashboard to actually monitor all the cities. We have a statewide dashboard which compares apples to apples, the various cities of Andhra Pradesh, and you can take a look at that. It's a public dashboard. If you go to our website, you'll be able to see the link to that dashboard. In the phase 2 implementation in Andhra Pradesh, by November 2016, we're going to complete a whole bunch of other modules. So this is a huge deployment for us. And as soon as the SmartCity products were launched in Andhra Pradesh, in the first few months alone, the property tax collections went up by 160 crores, right? And the senior bureaucrats, as well as the Chief Minister, is using these dashboards extensively. Okay. Moving forward, the impact we've had over the years, we have impacted about 12.5 million citizens across the country. In birth and death, we have registered over 4.1 million births and deaths. We've issued 4.7 million certificates. We have saved about almost 1,000 man-years of citizens' time, almost 400 man-years of government officials' time. And we have cut down the certificate issuance from 4 to 5 days to less than 1 day. So a huge impact for people who want a birth certificate, for instance. On the public grievance side, on complaints registered, over 2.2 million complaints have been registered using our system, with an over 90% redressal rate. And we have saved over 350 man-years for citizens and over 2,000 man-years for the government officials. So as you can see, a large impact over the last 13 years. In property taxes, we have collected over 38 billion rupees in property taxes using our systems. We have built one of the largest GIS urban cadastral databases of over 2.8 million properties, right? And in some cities, like the city of Mahadevapura near Bangalore, it saw a increase, a revenue property tax increase of a whopping 800%, right, in a matter of 2 years. So we see this in city after city. Public works, we have about 31,000 works have been taken up using our modules, totaling over 4.8 billion rupees, and so on. So you can go over this data. You'll see this on our website as well. We've had a fairly large impact across many, many cities. So I want to spend a few minutes with respect to what you can do to help build better modules, to help improve our Indian cities. These modules, as you can see, are having a huge impact because we are actually changing the underlying foundation of how these cities are run. We are creating clean databases of properties, of roads, of works projects that are taken up, or creating a GIS map, a cadastral map of the city, and using a cloud-based deployment and smartphone apps at the front end, coupled with a dashboard that helps decision-making. We feel that this is the systemic way in which Indian cities need to move forward to improve the services, delivery of services. So how can you help? Okay, we would like to create a global team of volunteers who can code for us. Okay, we are very glad that the Code for India team has partnered with us, and the members of Code for India will be working with us to improving Indian cities. We want you to become a key contributor to the eGovernments Foundation. We want you to figure out areas that you want to work in, and we will pair you with experts back in Bangalore who work with you. You can take up a significant module and work on it, or you can take up a small, let's say, an Android app, or even do a smaller piece, a feature perhaps in a module or an app that would still be very useful to us, right? So we are in need of Android developers who can build apps for us so that we can go live with the eGov modules. We would also appreciate UX designers who can design web applications, who can design Android apps, who can do our posters, our government process reengineering posters. There's a lot of work that we would like to do from a design perspective. We are very keen on putting out the best design products, whether it's web apps or Android apps or communication material that's distributed across a large number of cities. The other area where you can help us is to test the systems. We plan to deploy these modules on a cloud-based architecture. We would want to create a test harness where volunteers are able to test our systems before we can go live. That can be of immense use. Right now, we're not able to do as much testing as we would like to do. And lastly, we'd like to spread the word. We want to be able to attract a large number of volunteers in all these different fields, whether it is building Java code and building server components, or Android apps, or doing UX design, or helping us test the systems. To do all of this and to be able to attract volunteers, as well as communicate the power of these products to the bureaucrats, to the politicians, and get them to implement this, we need to market these products. We want to attract digital marketing experts. We want to attract people who are good at communicating these ideas to the administrators, to the citizens, so that they can also create a demand for these products. These products improve governance. They improve the underpinnings, the foundation in which the cities run. And as such, they're very useful to improve governance. And we would like this communication to be professional, and we're able to reach the various segments that we need to reach, be it administrators or citizens or volunteers. Our website is at eGovernments.org. It's a fairly basic website. We'd love for some volunteers to come and help us and improve it as well. And with that, I'd like to wrap up this talk. It's been wonderful talking to all of you. In fact, always delighted to be here in California. I used to live here. I started with chip design and went on to doing internet companies here in California, and then moved back to India and started the eGovernments Foundation along with Mr. Nandan Nilekani. Nandan Nilekani and I started it in 2003, and since then, we've done a lot of things that I've described to you. About 8 years ago, we started the Aadhaar project. I was the CTO, or the head of technology for the Aadhaar project. We designed a very scalable system that's crossed to over 1 billion users today. And now I, would like to invite you to help us improve our e-government systems and deploy these systems in 2,000 cities by 2020. With that, I'd like to close this webcast. But before that, if you have question and answers, you can type it up on the right side, at the chat window on the right. There's one more thing I missed mentioning. Carl Mehta of Code for India has been very generous in organizing this talk. And there are several volunteers, Kavita Jain, Karishma, and others who have worked tirelessly to make this webcast happen. We thank the entire team of Code for India for partnering with us, and we look forward to working with Code for India volunteers and the team of volunteers here in improving cities in India. Thank you very much. If you have questions, do put them up on the chat window to your right. Any questions, anybody? Well, okay, here we have a question from Gokul Singh. What kind of external applications has your system been integrated with? Okay. Well, okay, here we have a question from Gokul Singh. What kind of external applications has your system been integrated with? Sorry. Okay. Well, okay, here we have a question from Gokul Singh. What kind of external applications has your system been integrated with? There's a bit of... okay, well, okay, here we have a question from Gokul Singh. What kind of external applications has... Hello? I'm sorry. We had a little bit of echo going on. Gokul, currently, for instance, I talked about the building plan approval module. We did not build the entire set of modules. We basically integrated with a system called the Auto DCR, which would actually check the setback violations based on an AutoCAD file. But we integrated that along with our building plan approval module in such a way that we could quickly go live, right? And similarly, there are other systems with respect to looking at, for instance, traffic management and the other network problems such as water and so on, which we could integrate with our systems so that you have a seamless delivery of services. So that's the idea. Any other question? Well, we have a bit of... Any other question? Okay. Well, thank you, everybody. I think we have a bit of a technical issue with respect to this echo going on. What I would suggest is please send us, go to our website. There's a volunteer link out there. You please register yourself and please post your questions onto the website and we will certainly answer them. But I am looking forward to a strong team in the Bay Area in California, as well as other parts of the United States, where this group is very active. And I'm really looking forward to having a number of you work with us. We are still new to this kind of coordinating these activities of building code over a distance. But we would like to take this opportunity to work with a team here and slowly build out the processes so that we can be really productive between our team of about 70 developers in Bangalore and a global team of developers who will work with us on this open source suite. I thank you very much for spending the morning with us, and I look forward to working with you for better cities in India. Thank you, and bye-bye.